This one actually gets my blood boiling. It's what keeps me up at night. It's why I create videos. Why is it that the biggest mistakes are the ones that usually hurt the most? I mean, the ones that keep you up at night sweating. Like, I'm sweating right now just thinking about people that are buying homes that are promising to pay $250,000, $500,000, $750,000, or even over $1 million back to a bank or lender for a house that they don't even want. And in this video, I'm going to share with you the biggest mistake that most people make when buying a home. And this mistake is evident throughout the entire process. And so I hope by sharing this will help arm you with the tools to battle this ugly, ugly enemy, to make sure that when you're going through the buying process, that you get the home you want, and most importantly, stay away from this horrible, horrible mistake. And you might be wondering, okay, Zach, what is this? Is it overpaying for a house? Is it picking the wrong one? Is it doing something like biting off too much than you can chew with maintenance? And while those are mistakes, actually the biggest mistake is giving into pressure. That's right, pressure is something that can create the biggest mistake when it comes to home buying. And it shows its face in 3 different ways. And the first way is external pressure. The external pressure is that pressure that comes from maybe a parent or parents, a spouse, significant other. It can come in the form of friends or family, somebody that you listen to. And really, the person that is applying that external pressure may really have your best interests at heart, but they're operating off their own experience and their own wants and needs. And I've seen it time after time where a buyer who may be purchasing their first home, a second home, will ask somebody for their advice, and that person will take a leadership role in their decision. And they may be pushing a home onto that buyer that doesn't all the way fit their needs, make them compromise, or tells them to overspend because they'll be able to, through hopefully pay increases at work or bonuses, be able to pay for it. There's also where they'll say it's a smart investment. Buying or owning real estate is a smart investment. And it really can be, but you want it to be a smart investment in the home that you like and not one that you don't. They might not be thinking of things like neighborhood or amenities in and around there. They may not be thinking about commute times. And so there's all sorts of variables that the person that's applying external pressure might not be processing through, that they'll project what you should do and apply pressure. And so that external pressure can come from those people that you trust the most. And so always be very careful with that when someone is giving their opinion, and also take the time to think through it to make sure that it truly fits what you want, because external pressure can actually lead to point number 2, with that pressure point being internal. So external pressure can actually start to create internal pressure. And I've seen this time and time again. It doesn't matter if it's a fast-moving market, a slow-moving market. Buyers have pressure on themselves. They apply pressure on themselves by trying to speed up the process. They may decide to purchase a home that doesn't always fit their needs because their lease might be ending, or that they had some sort of tax credit or interest rate lock that required them to speed up, when ultimately those things may not be a true factor through the whole process. And so internal pressures really can rear their ugly heads up, especially in a fast-moving market when there's multiple offers, but it also does in a slow-moving market where you're going into home saying, why don't I really like this place? There's something off. It's got the number of bedrooms, it's got the right number of bathrooms, square footage seems right, the kitchen's okay, And you start to talk yourself into a house that ultimately, my friend, you are going to hate down the road. And with financing, if you are financing a home, you could be making that promise over 15 years or even 30 years. And can you imagine living in a home for 30 years that you don't want? And so that internal pressure can really tick up through the process, especially after seeing multiple homes where you think, okay, am I just being overly picky? And folks will ask me, should I be picky or should I be more relaxed? And I always tell them, when buying a home, be super picky, because again, you are promising to pay back hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars, for a home that you don't want. That just does not seem like a fun venture. So that internal pressure can tick itself up, especially if there's existence of external pressure. Now, I have seen situations where there is no external pressure and a buyer themselves has created tremendous amounts of internal pressure to go ahead and make that purchase. And it's still some of those similar things of the overpaying for a home with the idea of a raise or a bonus coming down or sacrificing on a vacation. There are buyers that will just say, hey, it's just a smart financial move for an investment. And again, real estate can be a great investment model, but don't you want to enjoy the real estate you live in instead of not enjoying it and then taking that risk? Because you got to remember, investments are always risks. So while you hear people say, hey, it's a great investment strategy, or that, hey, it's a great way to build wealth, it always comes with a level of risk. Now I'm going to share pressure point number 3, and this one actually gets my blood boiling. It's what keeps me up at night. It's why I create videos, and that is professional pressure. What is that? Well, that is where you are working with an individual, whether in real estate or in lending, that wants you to make a move. And so they will try to sell you hard on a home just so they can be done with you. And that is somebody that needs to get out of the real estate industry. The professional pressure has to go away. It is something that frustrates me beyond all measure, because someone's using their professional platform to push a home on you that you will not like. When I first got into real estate, one of the thoughts that I always shared with my buyers is I wanted to make sure that the day that they were writing that mortgage check, they were smiling about their purchase instead of thinking of me and hate, because that's what will happen when a professional pushes somebody into a home. It will cause the people buying the home to hate that professional. And that real estate agent or lender may use excuses like, I've already shown you 15 or 20 homes. They all are the same. This one is really good. Why not write an offer? They'll use things like, you can always refinance down the road. Now, while that is something that you could do, it still comes at a cost to you. And so it's something where, like I said, this makes my blood boil, because there are people out there that are real estate agents and lenders that will apply unnecessary pressure and cause you to make the biggest mistake. And that is buying a home that you don't want. And so I want to encourage you that if you have ever gone through that process and have felt pressure, put a comment down below on what pressure actually got you. Was it the external? Was it the internal? Or was it professional? Now, you might have gotten the trifecta, which is all three. And that is really a poor situation when you feel external pressure that causes that internal pressure that ultimately leads to professional pressure. That is something that leads to absolute disaster. Now, you might be wondering, all right, Zach, you shared with me the biggest mistakes. How do I battle that? How do I battle pressure? Well, I'm going to share with you, you need me as your agent. And why do I say that? Is because there are agents just like me who will take the time to educate, not use pressure. When the pressure gauge rises when I'm working with somebody, we slow slow down. We do not speed up, because it's very important for you to understand that you have options and you are empowered to make the right decision for yourself. It's incredibly important to know exactly what you're promising to pay, also know exactly what you're buying, and no one should pressure you into that decision. You should really have the time to make it on your own. Now, there is a truth that there are timelines in real estate where you don't have unlimited amounts of time, and one of the ways that we walk through that in this process is by walking in our system of asking specific questions and making sure we cover all of the bases about the purchasing of a home. And so if there's a base that is not covered, we cannot move forward and really have you move on that purchase until we get that answered. And what I find is when we ask the correct questions, it actually allows you to uncover what do you really want to do in the purchase of your home. And so I just wanted to encourage you that if you are in a situation feeling pressured, know that there's people out there that want to serve you, that want to educate you, that want to work on your behalf to make sure you don't feel pressure. You should be walking through this process with a pressure-less feeling about you. You should be opening that door right after getting the keys for the very first time, smiling, knowing that you made a very, very smart purchase. And so don't fall prey to the biggest mistakes. Now, you might be wondering, what should I do from here? Like, how do I actually connect with somebody that is just like you? Well, you could start by reaching out to me. I have a network across the country and even into Canada where I can introduce you to agents just like me. Now, if you're in the Snohomish County, Skagit County, or King County area, I'm your guy, and I would love to sit down and talk with you. Hey, I also believe in education so much, I think you should also click on this video here that talks about the common myths in real estate, because while the biggest mistake might be pressure, you might be falling for one of those myths. Well, folks, I really appreciate you watching, and I hope that you have an awesome day. And remember, today is a great day that you can #create positive change. Take care.